During the summer vacation, a scammer stole my account and photos to engage in online dating. At the beginning of my freshman year, I unknowingly gained 10 boyfriends. What a coincidence, they are all from our class. 1. I dragged my suitcase, feeling small and helpless, curled up in the corner. I stared at them in shock. Was I being robbed by 10 handsome guys in the corner? Is there still any justice left in this world? Indeed, not everyone can handle having 10 boyfriends. They were talking in bits and pieces. After listening for most of the day, I finally sorted out the situation. These handsome guys are all boyfriends I had during the summer vacation. They not only know my name is Chien Duo Duo, but also sent me quite a few red envelopes during our relationship. Some dated me for 2 months, while others were dumped by me after just 2 days. What a group of love-struck fools that make listeners sad and onlookers weep. What the hell? Who on earth did this? How wicked, stealing my account and using my photos for online dating. And they found 10 in one go. 2. I cautiously asked the most handsome guy in the crowd, "Are you also my boyfriend?" It's not that I'm infatuated. It's just that this guy is too handsome. With a smile at the corner of his mouth, he stood there lazily, outshining the other 9 handsome guys. At first glance, he doesn't seem like someone with a romantic mindset. Moreover, he doesn't look sad or excited at all. He hasn't even said a word for a long time. Among a group of handsome guys who have been fooled by me for money and emotions, he seems out of place. He glanced at me and shook his head, "No." I asked him seriously, "So do I owe you money too?" He hesitated to speak and shook his head. Other boyfriends looked at him in confusion. "I also don't understand." Frowning, I asked, "Then why are you making a fuss?" He sighed and spoke with difficulty. "You say you are the daughter of Chien Yotsai, the owner of the largest entertainment company, Chien Duo Duo. You lack nothing but money, yet you insist that I be your boyfriend. When I didn't agree, you started throwing money at me, depositing money into my bank card, making grand promises, saying you want to promote me as a star, and insisting that I become the top figure in the entertainment industry in the future. I came to find you today, just to pay back the money." I was dumbfounded. Other boyfriends, who were treated unfairly, cried. 3. This is the first time I've encountered such a bizarre scammer. Online dating scams involve both money and looks. Those who are ugly don't even bother to cheat. It's very insulting. Moreover, it establishes a class system based on appearance. Among 10 men ranked by looks, the ugliest one gets cheated out of the most money. The most handsome Cheng Yang not only didn't get cheated out of money, but also made the scammer pay him. Coincidentally, all the money scammed from those 9 boyfriends ended up with Cheng Yang. The money Cheng Yang returned perfectly compensated for what was taken by the scammer. Although this matter was resolved without any real danger. But as a freshman, I became completely famous in school. Even though I explained that my account was hacked and my photos were stolen, and that I wasn't the one deceiving, no one believed me. 4. Shu Minute, the class flower, is in the same dormitory as me, and all the classmates led by her treat me like a plague. Those who get close to me feel unlucky. As soon as I entered the dormitory, I heard her and 2 roommates speaking sarcastically. If I were her, I would be too embarrassed to come to school after being caught cheating and being a sycophant while playing both sides. It's one thing to create a persona of a rich and beautiful girl, but to use money obtained through deceit to pursue a crush. Does she really think that just because she has this name, she's actually wealthy? It's hilarious. I've never heard of a CEO of an entertainment company named Chien Yotsai. It's so tacky. The class flower pouted, as if she didn't see me at all. One of the roommates also said, "With such a rural-sounding name, can there really be a big boss with that name? No one in our village is named that." I stood at the door, wondering what Chien Yotsai would think after hearing their words. Speak of the devil, my dad, Chien Yotsai, just called. As soon as the phone was answered, my father's strong voice rang out. "Daughter, how are you doing at school?" I had the secretary top up your meal card with 5 million. If you run out of money, remember to tell your dad. I felt a wave of darkness in front of my eyes upon hearing his words. Yes, my dad is very talented. He is a genuine domineering CEO. With a wave of his hand, it's 5 million. Of course, I would be happier if it weren't just for topping up my meal card. Interestingly, he indeed runs an entertainment company. However, the current boss of the company is my older brother. My brother's name was given by my mom. It's very domineering, called Qian Beicheng. Clearly, my mom was also angry, scolding my dad over there by pulling his ear, charging 5 million on the meal card. Are you crazy, Qian Duo? Our daughter is not a pig, when can she eat that much? My mom was too agitated, and her voice was a bit loud. Although I didn't have the speaker on. The 3 popular girls in the class still heard the sound from my phone. Hearing what my mom said, they couldn't help but let out a tch and laughed. Their gazes towards me were filled with disdain. Another roommate sneered, so Qian Duo is such a good pretender, it must be inherited from her family. It's just a facade, unlike our Minmin, who signed with Shangfeng Entertainment right after starting her freshman year. Her cousin is even a top agent at Shangfeng Entertainment, and even Cheng Yang thinks Minmin is different from others. I held my phone, looking at them with a strange expression. Sorry, but Shangfeng Entertainment is actually owned by my family. 5. I have always suspected that the person who hacked my account and stole my photos for an online romance is lurking right beside me. Because the 9 boyfriends that the scammer found, along with the one pursuing Cheng Yang, are all from our class. They are still the 10 most handsome in our class. The boys in the class who haven't been fooled by me think I'm ugly and love handsome guys. Feel insulted. The girls think I only go for those around me, but I prefer the handsome ones. There are only 10 decent-looking boys in our class, and I've had my way with all of them. It's simply outrageous. As a freshman, I've been isolated like this. Because of the scammer's antics, Cheng Yang was also ostracized by all the insulted boys in the class. I looked at Cheng Yang sitting alone in the corner of the classroom and felt a pang of sympathy. I suddenly understood why the scammer was willing to pay him off. Who can resist a weak and handsome guy? I cautiously sat next to Cheng Yang and cleared my throat. He looked at me with sleepy eyes. His gaze was filled with confusion. This handsome and cute appearance had quite an impact on me. I immediately sat up straight and reflexively said, "Do you want to be an idol? My dad is Qian Yotsai, and I can make you a top star." Cheng Yang looked at me with a subtle expression. He opened his mouth, hesitated, and then said nothing. Then, Shumin's angry voice came from behind. "Qian Duo, what do you want to do to Cheng Yang again? You still say that what happened during the summer vacation wasn't your doing." I turned my head and saw a row of angry eyes staring at me. I'm sorry, my professional habit kicked in. Since high school, I have set a goal to join my family's company after graduation. Assist my brother, become a top agent, and help countless artists rise to fame. Support the company. So I enrolled in an art academy. Seeing a promising talent like Cheng Yang, I really couldn't help myself. I was embarrassed and tried to explain, "Listen to me, my dad Qian Yotsai really runs an entertainment company." Shuminit sneered, "My dad runs a coal mine company. Qian Duo, do you have no shame? No one is being scammed anymore. Are you brainwashing yourself? Do you think Cheng Yang is stupid? He won't believe your nonsense." Others also had expressions that suggested they wouldn't let me harm anyone anymore. No one believed me anymore. Just when I was being pointed at by everyone, Cheng Yang blinked and suddenly said, "I believe you." Then, with great interest, he asked, "Can you really make me a top star?" I was stunned. Shuminit was momentarily dazed. Others also had blank expressions. 6. I immediately called my brother to support Cheng Yang. This good talent. My brother was very straightforward. With a wave of his hand, he arranged for the company's best gold medal agent to take care of Cheng Yang. After hanging up the phone, I found that Cheng Yang was surrounded by Shuminit and others in the middle. Take a closer look. It turns out Shuminit is brainwashing Cheng Yang. Cheng Yang, don't be fooled by Chen Duo. She deceived so many classmates during the summer vacation and likes to trick good-looking and naive boys like you. Stay away from her in the future. Other girls behind her nodded repeatedly. Shuminit raised her chin and spoke. My cousin Xu Ying is a top agent at Shangfeng Entertainment. Cheng Yang, if you want to become a star, I can have my cousin sign you with Shangfeng Entertainment, and we can debut together. Xu Min's little follower said, yes. Minute is different from that liar Chen Duo who only talks big. Her cousin is really impressive, and can definitely make you famous. I stood behind them, listening to their conversation, watching my eyelids droop, feeling drowsy. Not sure if Cheng Yang heard them talking, he pouted. Why are you still trying to steal someone else's partner? Suddenly, my phone went ding-dong. Someone added me on WeChat. It's a top agent arranged by my brother. I hesitated for a moment and asked, are you Xu Ying? The other side quickly replied. I am Chen Jing. Xu Ying is my assistant, miss, do you know her? I looked at the message on my phone. I glanced at Shuminit, who was boasting about how amazing her cousin is. I fell into deep thought. 7. The next day at noon, I invited Cheng Yang to the cafeteria for a meal. By the way, I planned to have him sign a contract with the top agent from my brother's company. I arranged to meet Chen Jing at the cafeteria later. As a result, we had just sat down for a short while. Shuminit, who got the news, came in with her little follower, making a grand entrance. Shuminit was watching me closely, as if afraid I would take advantage of Cheng Yang. Her little follower's gaze, however, was fixed on our lavish lunch. One of the followers cynically remarked, this is too extravagant, the money spent on this meal could probably last me a month. I sighed, I didn't want this either. It's just that my dad loaded too much money onto my meal card. As soon as Shuminit heard this, she became furious and her eyes turned red. Chen Duo, do you have no shame? How could you let Cheng Yang treat you to such an expensive meal? After saying that, she pointed at me and earnestly advised Cheng Yang, I told you she's a scammer. She wants to cheat your money and then your affection. Cheng Yang slowly swallowed the food in his mouth and lazily replied, this meal is on her. Shuminit was taken aback. Then she angrily said, she must be trying to save face in front of you, and then go out to scam others for money. After saying that, she turned her head as if she saw something. Her eyes suddenly lit up. Sister, you really came. I looked up and followed her gaze. Oh, it's my brother's company's top agent, Chen Jing, who has come with her assistant. After Shuminit saw her sister, she became even more arrogant. She raised her chin towards me and sneered, my cousin Xu Ying is here to sign him with Shangfeng Entertainment. Didn't you say you wanted to make him a top star? Which company are you planning to sign him with? Where's the agent you found? After saying that, she looked at Cheng Yang and said, I told you. I won't lie to you. My sister can definitely make you famous. Several of Xu Min's little followers looked at her with admiration and envy. I spoke with a subtle expression, well, it's also Shangfeng Entertainment, and she has come here too. One of the little followers immediately scoffed, are you trying to pull a stunt? It's clear that the one who just arrived is Minute Min's cousin. You don't mean to say that you found Minute Min's cousin too, do you? I glanced at the two people walking over in the distance and sighed. That's not the case. 8. Xu Minute also recognized that I was just bragging. She lifted her chin and snorted, casting a disdainful glance at me. Then she instructed her little followers to wait for her outside the cafeteria. She then got up and walked over to her cousin, who seemed to know Chen Jing, and flatteringly called out, Sister Chen, you're here. By the way, my classmate also wants to sign with our company. He's very handsome. And I'll introduce him to you later. I also secretly glanced over. It turned out she was afraid her little followers would find out that the top agent wasn't her sister, but Chen Jing, which is why she sent them away. Shu Minute saw me watching them and even showed me a smug expression. Chen Jing nodded lightly and didn't say anything. However, Shu Ying shot a glare at Shu Minute and said in a low voice, "Don't cause trouble. I came with Sister Chen to meet the young lady and her classmates. We'll talk about your matters after we're done." Shu Min's eyes lit up upon hearing Shu Ying's words, and she said, "So the young lady is also at our school. I'm truly honored. Sister Chen, can I go with you?" "Don't worry, I definitely won't cause any trouble. I just want to get to know the young lady, so I can help her run errands at school in the future." Chen Jing agreed. Shu Minute obediently followed behind Chen Jing. I looked at Shu Minute, wanting to say something but hesitating. Shu Minute turned her head and saw me looking at her. Not knowing what she was thinking, she showed a proud yet disdainful expression again. I had a strange expression. In the next moment, Chen Jing finally noticed me. Unlike her previous indifference, a smile immediately appeared on her face. She strode towards me. The pride on Shu Min's face behind Chen Jing hadn't had time to change, and she also walked over here with a confused expression. Not long after, Chen Jing walked up to me. I glanced at Chen Jing, then at Shu Minute behind her. Her expression became even more strange. Chen Jing was completely unaware of this and greeted me with a smile, saying, "Miss, so you are here." Shu Minute, on the other hand, widened her eyes in shock. She looked as if she had been struck by lightning. Miss," she exclaimed in disbelief. I nodded and said, "It's me. Sorry to disappoint you." Shu Minute almost cried out loud. 9. Cheng Yang has signed a contract with my brother's company. But he made a condition that I become his agent. I hesitated a bit. I am still a freshman. But Chen Jing also heard about my situation from my brother, smiled, and said, "Miss, didn't you originally want to graduate and work as an agent in the company? You can start with your classmate." So, this matter was settled just like that. I became Cheng Yang's agent. When Chen Jing was about to leave, I realized that Shu Minute had slipped away at some point. For many days afterward, Shu Minute avoided me like the plague. 10. As Cheng Yang's first agent. My biggest goal right now, besides studying, is to make him famous. In 10 days, it will be the freshman welcome party. I am preparing to sign up for Cheng Yang. Let Cheng Yang make a stunning debut at the party. Make a strong first impression. I racked my brains just to find a stunning performance for Cheng Yang. Unfortunately, Cheng Yang cannot sing or dance, so we can only finalize her role in the play. Soon, we face the second dilemma. It's that Cheng Yang and I have really bad relationships in our major. We can't find a third person to join us in the play at all. And because I spend all day hanging out with Cheng Yang, it has caused a lot of dissatisfaction among many people. Shu Minute didn't say anything, but her little followers looked at me even more unfavorably. Xing Shiming is one of my 9 ex-boyfriends. According to the ranking of the most handsome boyfriends, based on how much money scammers have swindled, Xing Shiming ranks second, his looks only surpassed by Cheng Yang. I was only scammed out of 200 yuan. The day after I spent all day hanging out with Cheng Yang, Xing Shiming found me. He stood in front of me, looking down from above, and condescendingly said, "Qian duo, let's make up." I, who was sitting in the cafeteria eating, was taken aback. Cheng Yang also slowly put down his chopsticks, and glanced up at him. Xing Shiming exchanged a glance with Cheng Yang, then showed disdain and pointed at him contemptuously, saying, "Cheng Yang is just a pretty boy, he only has a decent face, and even eating requires you to spend money. What do you see in him? Qian duo, as long as you break up with this pretty boy and get together with me, I can overlook the past. I am richer than him, and you won't need to find someone else to scam money from in the future. Just be with me, and I'll spend as much money on you as you want." Such words were spoken with overwhelming arrogance. It was like a domineering CEO from an old novel. If Shu Minute is the leader among the girls in the class who ostracize me, Then Xing Shiming is the boss among the boys in the class who ostracized Cheng Yang. His popularity in the major is even higher than Cheng Yang's. Although he is not as good-looking as Cheng Yang, he is rich. Usually, he is extravagant, and many girls in the major like him, as well as boys who admire him. I couldn't help but glance at Cheng Yang. He had his brows lowered, looking like a pitiful person who was being ostracized. I am angry. For the first time, someone flaunted their wealth in front of me. Not only that, but he also led the campus bullying against the first artist I brought. I let out a cold laugh, mimicking my brother's demeanor. I slammed my meal card forcefully on the table. I don't want to hear you slandering Cheng Yang again. There's 4,900,000 here, take it and get lost. It's not that I don't want to write a check. It's just that I came out to eat without bringing my bank card, let alone a check. So I can only use this as a substitute. The cafeteria fell silent for a few moments. After a long while, someone quietly spoke up. Is Qian Duo out of her mind? 11. Because I rejected Xing Shiming. His little brothers secretly scold me for not knowing what's good for me and for being foolish. Moreover, my persona with Cheng Yang has also been upgraded. Cheng Yang is just a pretty face with no money or ability, a kept boy. As for me, I not only deceive people online for money, but also stole my parents' money to support Cheng Yang, making me the fool. Both of us are poorer than the other, yet we have created a relationship of being kept and the sugar daddy. Classmates in the major are secretly discussing who between Cheng Yang and I is more foolish. In the end, they reached a conclusion. Both of us are foolish poor people. However, Xing Shiming became angry and humiliated after his failed pursuit, directly stating that anyone who dares to participate in our play will be at odds with him. So, it was almost time for the school anniversary. The two of us, being isolated, also couldn't find enough people to perform in the play. 12. Xu Minute voluntarily participated in the play that Cheng Yang and I were involved in. Just when our play group was short of people, I readily agreed. When the program list was submitted, Xu Min's little follower and Xing Shiming and others were all stunned. Xing Shiming's little brother and Xu Min's followers gathered together to analyze deeply for a long time. Finally, Xu Min's little follower clapped his hands and excitedly said, Minute must be planning to infiltrate the enemy camp to expose Qian Duo's true colors as a fraud. Pull Cheng Yang out of the fire pit. Xing Shiming's little brother was a conspiracy theorist, sneering. Cheng Yang isn't a good person either. I think Xu Minute might be trying to get back at Ming Ji by ruining their school anniversary performance and making them infamous. In the end, they exchanged glances and admired in unison, clever. Xu Minute is really clever. Upon hearing this, Cheng Yang and I turned our heads in unison, looking at Xu Minute warily. Xu Minute hurriedly said, You guys believe me, I really don't have any bad intentions. After saying that, she angrily glared at the dozen or so people in front of her. Furious, she stood up and shouted, Are you guys crazy? What nonsense are you talking? I genuinely want to join them. The dozen or so people in front, upon hearing Xu Minute say this, all had expressions of understanding, as if to say, We get you. Xu Minute. Xu Minute was about to cry. Not long after this incident, Xing Shiming approached me alone. He said, Do you regret it now? I looked at him like he was a lunatic. Then don't blame me. Xing Shiming sneered and turned to leave. Even his back carried a hint of coldness and ruthlessness. After saying that, he walked over to Xu Minute, lowered his voice and said, Since she is so stubborn, I won't protect her anymore. Do whatever you want, you don't have to worry about me. Xu Minute looked at him as if he were an idiot. What's wrong with you? Are you sick? Xing Shiming wasn't angry, he gave her a, I understand you expression, and coldly walked away. Xu Minute turned to me with tears in her eyes, Miss, please let me explain. I really didn't mean to do anything. I nodded and then whispered to Cheng Yang, He's so melodramatic. Cheng Yang nodded as well, he seems a bit out of it. Xing Shiming, who was walking backward, stumbled and finally couldn't hold it anymore. Then he turned his head and glared at us angrily. I want to see how long the money you scammed and stole can support this pretty boy, and you. He pointed at Cheng Yang with a cold smile. A pretty boy with no ambition and dignity will eventually be abandoned. I whispered to Cheng Yang, don't listen to his nonsense, you are the future top star, we won't stoop to his level. Cheng Yang looked at my serious expression, chuckled lightly, and nodded, okay. I couldn't help but cover my chest. Mom, he is really good looking. I must support him to become a top star. 13. In order to make Cheng Yang shine at the welcome party, I not only got my brother to bring in a professional photography team, but also a marketing team and a makeup team. Also found a particularly intriguing role for Cheng Yang. Strive to make him an instant hit. Because it's a romantic play. The female lead is also very important. Considering that Shuminit is also an artist signed by my brother's company, and has been performing well recently, I'm planning to let her be the female lead and share the spotlight. As for me, I'll just be a background narrator. Who knew that after I made this decision? Cheng Yang immediately stopped laughing. His handsome brows furrowed slightly, rarely showing a look of grievance. Am I not your favorite artist? You know, she has always wanted to take advantage of me. How could that be? You are my darling. I immediately replied. Seeing Cheng Yang's red ears and his uncomfortable lowered gaze. Suddenly, I felt a surge of ambition in my heart. Cheng Yang is the first artist I have brought. I have the duty to protect his innocence. I suddenly thought of a scene in the play where there is a misaligned kiss. Immediately, I looked at Shuminit with caution. Shuminit quickly took 2 steps back. As if she had seen some kind of flood or beast, distancing herself from Cheng Yang. No, 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 how could I dare to touch the ladies' man? You should be the female lead. 14. Considering that Shuminit indeed has a history, Cheng Yang seems to have developed a psychological shadow regarding her, fearing that she might take advantage of him. I can only replace her as the female lead and take on the role myself. Although Cheng Yang is not suitable for singing and dancing, she is, however, a great material for acting. 15. I never expected it. I chose a charming and captivating male role for Cheng Yang. Unexpectedly, during the rehearsal, I ended up being captivated myself. When Cheng Yang leaned closer to me with her eyes lowered, I looked into her affectionate eyes. Her clearly defined eyelashes. My heart is pounding. Then, I fled in panic. I am guilty. I actually craved his body. I embezzled from myself. I am a beast. After that day, I ate vegetarian for several days. A life of simplicity made me feel like Cheng Yang in front of me was just a little cabbage. It seems I'm not that tempted anymore. 16. The performance on the day of the welcome party was very successful. The photography team shot a lot of films and high-definition videos and posted them online. Then a top-notch marketing team got involved. The play we performed went straight to trending topics. Both Cheng Yang and I became popular. Online, there were countless requests for my and Cheng Yang's contact information. Before long, our dark secrets were exposed. I was labeled as a fake rich girl and a scammer in an online romance. Cheng Yang was labeled as a kept boy. In an instant, there was a wave of criticism online. All our classmates in the major were ashamed of us. Seeing me with Cheng Yang, it's just a lot of pointing and whispering. However, Xing Shiming found me again. And he advised me not to be so stubborn. Being with Cheng Yang, I have no good ending, my reputation is ruined. It's better to wash my hands of this and stop deceiving people in the future. Being poor is not my fault. As long as I honestly stay with him, he gives me money to spend. I looked at him in confusion and said, I'm not poor. Xing Shiming frowned, looking at me with disappointment. I read a message from his expression. I didn't expect you to still be so stubborn at this point. His little brother advised him from behind, Brother Xing, she just won't change. When she really runs out of money and Cheng Yang doesn't want her anymore, she'll know what suffering is. Shuminit also tried to explain, actually, she is really quite wealthy. I nodded vigorously. 17. As soon as the words fell, I heard the surprised voice of Shumin's little follower behind me. Shangfeng Entertainment has announced that they have signed Cheng Yang and Minute Minute as artists. Minute Minute is really amazing. She actually got Shangfeng Entertainment to sign Cheng Yang. No wonder Minute Minute wanted to participate in this play. It turns out it was the company's idea. This time, Qian Duo really benefited by following Cheng Yang and riding on her coattails. But so what if she participated? The entertainment company won't sign her anyway. She deserves it. That's the consequence of offending our Minute Minute. Xing Shiming was very unhappy, looking at Shuminit with a dark face. Did you get Cheng Yang into Shangfeng Entertainment? I followed Xing Shiming's gaze and looked at Shuminit. Shuminit almost jumped up, hurriedly waving her hands. No, it wasn't me. Shuminit didn't finish her sentence. However, Xing Shiming didn't care, but looked at me again. With a cold sneer, he said persistently. Cheng Yang wants to be an artist in the future. A guy like him, a pretty boy, can't possibly stay with someone ordinary and poor like you. My patience is limited. If you agree to break up with him now and be with me, I will still give you money to spend in the future. Then, the next moment, Shumin's little follower trembled and spoke up. Shangfeng Entertainment has issued a statement. You all should go check it out. Qian Duo seems to really be quite wealthy. Almost at the same time, everyone lowered their heads to look at their phones. I curiously opened my phone. I found that Shangfeng Entertainment had posted a message. Qian Duo is the young lady of Shangfeng Group, and has no relationship of being kept with the artist Cheng Yang. The young lady currently serves as Cheng Yang's manager. Then they tagged those who spread rumors that I was a scammer, and sent them a lawyer's letter. Someone below trembled and asked, then who is Qian Yotsai? Shangfeng Entertainment, Director Qian, is the former president of the company and the father of the current president. After I finished reading, I raised my head. I found that everyone was staring at me in unison. The expression is strange and subtle, shocked and bewildered. It felt as if my worldview had been greatly shaken. Especially those few people who always targeted me before, they were almost in tears. And Xing Shiming also had a look of existential doubt on his face. In the next moment, Shuminit, with a blank expression, said softly, why won't you let me explain? Qian Duo is really very wealthy. 18. After a long while, Xing Shiming asked me. Since you have money, why do you still need to scam others' money? I spoke honestly. I really had my photos and account stolen. After a pause, I added, so the one who was dating you was really not me. Don't come looking for me in the future. Xing Shiming looked a bit disappointed. I felt a bit reluctant. Then, the next second, he suddenly looked up and said to me, I still think Cheng Yang is not suitable for you, consider me. Cheng Yang frowned. I skillfully took out my meal card, preparing to throw money at him. There are 4,900,000 in here, take it and get lost. Xing Shiming left with a dark face. 19. The rumor that I was a scammer fell apart on its own. Shuminit also clarified the bragging she did back then. Her cousin Xu Ying is not the top agent at my brother's company, but rather an assistant to a top agent. Her former lackey was very dissatisfied with her bragging behavior. Gradually, they distanced themselves from her. But after Shuminit experienced these ups and downs, she seemed completely indifferent to these empty titles. Instead, she followed me like a shadow every day, insisting that I be her agent. I thought, whether I take one or two, it's the same. Moreover, Shuminit is in the same major as me, and she has good skills and understanding. So in my sophomore year, I waved my hand and signed her on the spot. 20. Because Shuminit has a precedent. At first, I was still very worried that Cheng Yang would be taken advantage of by her. Although I had a second child. But the first child is still my beloved baby. I didn't expect to keep an eye on Shuminit for a while, and found that she is very infatuated with Cheng Yang. Now she actually looks very displeased with Cheng Yang. Cheng Yang has also changed from her previous gentleness. She often shows a dark face towards Shuminit. As long as I'm not around, the two of them will start fighting. 21. Summer vacation of sophomore year. Under my influence. Cheng Yang has already gained some fame in the entertainment industry. I even helped him land a role in a drama. On the contrary, Shuminit is still lukewarm. I am quite worried about Shumin's future development. Later, Cheng Yang handed me a girl group audition registration form. My eyes lit up, and I simply pushed Shuminit into it. At first, Shuminit was quite happy. But when she heard it was Cheng Yang's idea, she immediately became unhappy. She pouted and said, "Miss, Cheng Yang just wants to package me and throw me into the talent show group to monopolize you. I'm telling you, he has ulterior motives towards you, so don't fall for his tricks, he's such a green tea. This scheming poor man loves rich young ladies like you the most. He must be eager to sell his looks and have you support him for a lifetime." After saying that, she glared at Cheng Yang fiercely. Cheng Yang's face darkened instantly. I hurriedly said, "You're overthinking it. Cheng Yang is doing this for your good." Shuminit looked Cheng Yang up and down, her expression full of disdain. "Cheng Yang, give up on this idea. Someone like you, a mediocre and common person, is simply not worthy of the young lady." Cheng Yang was much more sensible than her and did not argue with her. Instead, he kindly reminded me, Duo, the talent show is starting tomorrow." I slapped my forehead. "Oh right, Shuminit, then you should go over tonight." Shumin's expression was full of resentment. 22. Shuminit left afterwards. It won't be long before Cheng Yang joins the crew. I felt a surge of ambition in my heart. I took another big step towards becoming a top agent. The day after Cheng Yang was sent off, I was preparing to look for a new artist to manage at the company. Unexpectedly, before I could go, Cheng Yang's assistant called me. She said there was a female investor in her 50s who had taken a liking to Cheng Yang. Not only did she knock on his door at night, but she also touched his face during dinner. It was obvious that she wanted to exploit him. As soon as I heard this, I knew I had to act. I immediately went to the crew to keep an eye on things. 23. As a result, I ended up with nothing. By the time I arrived, that opportunistic female investor had already left. However, I remembered her name. The female president of a certain financial company, with the surname Wang. As the weather cools down, it's time for the Wang family to go bankrupt. I conveyed to my brother the idea of making the Wang family go bankrupt next. As a result, my brother scolded me harshly. "Chien Duo, are you crazy, you unlucky child? The Wang family is much richer than ours. I think you want to make your brother go bankrupt." After hanging up the phone, I cried and held Cheng Yang's hand. "Kid, I'm sorry." Cheng Yang looked worried and asked, "What's wrong? Did your brother scold you?" "It's my incompetence that I can't make the Wang family in the financial circle go bankrupt to vent your anger. You've been taken advantage of by an old woman and suffered grievances." Cheng Yang almost choked. After a while, he spoke with a strange expression. "It's fine, it's nothing for me to suffer a little grievance." Cheng Yang is so obedient and understanding, I felt even more guilty in my heart. I immediately patted my chest and said, "In the days to come, I will stay by your side in the crew without leaving your side for a moment, and I will absolutely not let anyone take advantage of you." Cheng Yang was stunned for a moment. "Is there such a good thing?" I thought I had misheard. "What did you say?" Cheng Yang showed a gentle smile and said, "Then he'll trouble you. Thanks to you being here. Otherwise I wouldn't know what to do." I nodded with great enthusiasm. I really did miss here just now. 24. In the evening, Cheng Yang knocked on my door. He asked if I could help him rehearse and get familiar with the script. I nodded in agreement. But I never expected The scene Cheng Yang wanted to rehearse turned out to be an ambiguous scene. He gently wrapped his arm around my waist, looking down into my eyes. In his brown eyes, there was a shimmering light, as if filled with emotion. His voice seemed to carry a charm, slowly reciting the lines. I blinked my eyes, and my face suddenly felt like it was burning up. Then, I fled in a panic again. 25. Cheng Yang going to my room was secretly filmed. Marketing accounts are everywhere, claiming that we have an affair. I clarified it immediately, but still, most people do not believe it. Some fans threatened Cheng Yang, telling him to cut ties with me immediately, or they would unfollow him. As a result, Cheng Yang directly blocked those people. The fan-friendly persona I painstakingly built for Cheng Yang collapsed completely. Xu Minute, who is still in the girl group program, also sent me messages bad-mouthing Cheng Yang. Isn't the program team supposed to collect phones? Where did Xu Minute steal the phone from? I told her not to talk nonsense, and then advised her not to always play on her phone and to participate in the talent show properly. 26. Before the summer vacation ended, Cheng Yang finished filming. Xu Minute also spent the group formation night and debuted with an excellent second place. Now, Xu Min's popularity is not inferior to Cheng Yang's at all. She feels that she is capable again. In front of Cheng Yang, she also straightened her back a lot. She always secretly talks bad about Cheng Yang in my ear. I told her not to always provoke Cheng Yang's anger. She said, "Miss, everything I said is the truth. There isn't a good man in the entertainment industry, you mustn't be deceived by this cunning poor man." 27. The weekend of the start of the junior year. It is my mom's birthday. My mom specifically instructed me to take Cheng Yang to the birthday party. As the wife of the former owner of the largest entertainment company. Since her retirement, my mom's birthday parties have been major events in the entertainment industry every year. Even if she doesn't say it, I plan to take Cheng Yang along to make an appearance and ride on my mom's popularity. Of course, I can't favor one over the other. I also plan to take Xu Minute along with us. I brought in a makeup team to do makeup for Xu Minute and Cheng Yang and selected outfits for them. We arrived at my family's villa. As soon as these two got out of the car, they started competing. Xu Minute stood on my left and insisted on holding my hand. And Cheng Yang stood on my right, raising his arm to signal me to hold his hand. I hesitated for a moment and decided to hold onto him recklessly. So the three of us entered my house in this strange posture. When we arrived at the party, there were indeed quite a few people. I even saw Xing Shiming, who came to the birthday party with his dad. He looked a bit dissatisfied when he saw our posture, then shot a disdainful glance at Cheng Yang on my right. Then he said to me, Duo, I will not give up." I ignored him and continued walking forward. I ran into my brother halfway, and he looked at me with a strange expression, as if he thought I was a bit off. I quickly shook off Xu Minute and Cheng Yang. I've had enough of this sandwich cookie life. Before I could feel happy for a moment, I saw a stylish aunt holding hands with my mom, looking very affectionate. I recognized her. This is Wang Yang. Last time, she took advantage of Cheng Yang on the set, trying to use her influence on him. I was about to brace myself. Wang Yang saw me, smiled gently, and then walked over to take my hand, speaking kindly. "So this is Duo, right? Just as lively and beautiful as in the photos, but you look a bit too thin. Have you been working too hard?" While speaking, she even touched my face. I was instantly frozen in place. I looked around for help, almost crying. No, how can this aunt be so indiscriminate between men and women? She even took advantage of me. 28. I first looked at my mom. She didn't notice at all that her daughter was being taken advantage of and enthusiastically introduced me. Duo, this is Mr. Wang from Wang Group, quickly call him Aunt Wang." I looked at Xu Minute again. She was looking left and right, but just wouldn't look at me. She clearly recognized Wang Yang's identity. This heartless thing. Claiming to be my little cotton-padded jacket, the one who cares about me the most, yet at this moment, they actually stand by and do nothing. Finally, I looked at Cheng Yang with a. Cheng Yang sighed and walked over to me. I was almost in tears. My little one was the most considerate. In the next moment, Cheng Yang rescued me from the hands of the. Then he helplessly looked at her and said, "Mom, you scared her." Moved for less than half a minute, my eyes instantly widened. What did he just call Mom? Not just me, even Shuminit looked like she had been struck by lightning. She had a face full of mumbling, "The clown is actually me." At that moment, Xing Shiming, who was about to move forward, also looked at Cheng Yang with a shocked expression. 29. I thought Cheng Yang was a poor person. As it turns out, his mother is a big shot in the finance industry, and his father is a big shot in the real estate industry. With just a casual move, he could bankrupt my family. On the day of my mother's birthday banquet, quite a few media outlets showed up. Cheng Yang's identity was completely exposed. And the little white-faced persona that had been with Cheng Yang for many years couldn't be shaken off. He directly jumped to become the young master, who would inherit the family fortune if he didn't take acting seriously. Within a few days, the TV drama starring Cheng Yang aired and became a huge hit. Overnight, there were countless fans who became both wifey fans and girlfriend fans. Although not yet a top star, I am already a rising young celebrity. Later, my mom held my hand happily and said, Duo, I didn't expect you to really be with Cheng Yang. Among all the boys, I thought he was the best. Not bad, my daughter is really impressive. As I listened, I actually felt that something was a bit off about what she said. I suddenly looked up and asked, "What do you mean by a boy?" My mom's face stiffened, and she quickly waved her hand. "It's nothing." Under my intense interrogation. Finally, I pried it out of my mom's mouth. The scammer who stole my account and catfished me during the summer vacation was actually my mom. She saw that I worked hard in high school and had never been in a relationship, so she was preparing to set me up for a wonderful college life. And she didn't lie, she was just choosing a boyfriend for me in my name. As for scamming money, that was completely non-existent. According to my mom, she saw online that if a guy is unwilling to spend money on his girlfriend, he definitely doesn't love her enough. She was just helping me test whether my future boyfriend cares about me. I looked at her and asked, "What about Cheng Yang?" My mom coughed and looked a bit uncomfortable. Mom just couldn't help it. At that time, I thought, this guy looks good, and since our family is wealthy, spending money on him is fine. As expected of my mom. 30. Ever since I found out that Cheng Yang's family is very wealthy, Shuminit, the fence-sitter, has changed again. Every day, she keeps saying good things about Cheng Yang in my ear, claiming that we are a perfect match in looks, family background, and even like celestial beings. I found her annoying, so I simply got her a few advertisements and then packed her into the girl group. And the persistent Xing Shiming, who had been chasing me for 2 years, suddenly disappeared from my sight like a frostbitten eggplant. Day 5 of avoiding Cheng Yang. I was caught by him. At that time, I was chatting about dreams with a handsome freshman from the dance department. Of course, it was about his dreams. Recently, boy bands have been quite popular, and I think this freshman has a lot of potential, so I was planning to sign him. While I was halfway through the conversation with the freshman, Cheng Yang showed up. His expression was a bit dark. The freshman was scared away by him. He grabbed my hand and pulled me outside, directly dragging me to a small grove next to the school. I feel very wronged. He cheated on me, and now has given me a cold shoulder. Just as I was about to resist, Cheng Yang suddenly stopped, looked down at me seriously, and said, "Chien Duo, I want to date." I was taken aback and forgot to be angry, quickly saying, "No. You are currently on the rise. If you want to become a top star, you need to be career-focused. It's best to maintain your single persona." Cheng Yang frowned, his tone becoming even more displeased. He directly said, "Then I won't do it. I can afford the breach of contract fee." I instantly made a Kulian a pained expression. He wouldn't really want to give up and just go home to inherit his fortune, would he? The first traffic star I brought out is going to fail just like that. I didn't expect to encounter a career Waterloo before I even graduated. Cheng Yang looked at my dejected expression and suddenly said, "If you want me to continue working for you, I have a condition." I was taken aback, looking up at him. He coughed lightly, his ears a bit red, and said to me, "Come a little closer." I thought he was going to say something to me, so I leaned in. As a result, he lowered his head slightly and kissed me. I don't know how long it lasted, my head felt like a mess, and I heard him whisper in my ear, "Be my girlfriend, and I'll work for you for a lifetime. Also, only be my agent." My head was spinning, and I nodded blankly, "Okay." His voice was a bit hoarse, making my face flush and my heart race. I suspected that Cheng Yang really might be using some kind of magic. Extra. This is the 10th year of being a manager. I have already married Cheng Yang. Over the years, I have only managed 2 artists. One is the free-range Shu Minute. The other is Cheng Yang. Cheng Yang has long become a top star. He won the Best Actor award this year. He is now on stage giving his acceptance speech. I am sitting in the guest seat watching him, more excited than when I won an award myself. The host asked him why he entered the entertainment industry in the first place. Cheng Yang smiled and said, "Because my wife wants to be a top agent, but I don't like her managing other boys, so I can only sacrifice myself." The host asked him if he had anything to say. Cheng Yang hesitated for a moment and said seriously, "I hope my wife doesn't have such a strong career ambition. At my age, I should retire and go home to live a life with my wife and children." The host. I glared at him from the audience, urging him to watch his words. Instead, he winked and smiled at me. Fans have become accustomed to his casual attitude about wanting to quit the industry. They all rushed to leave comments on my social media account. "Sister-in-law, you must not let Cheng Yang quit the industry, make him work for you for a lifetime." I gritted my teeth and replied, "Okay."